What were the actual charges that Jonathan Majors was found guilty of, and how does this affect the future of the MCU? And is David Zaslav going to own Star Trek next? Stick around and find out, nerds, because it's time for Nerdy News. What's up, nerds, and welcome back to an early edition of Nerdy News. Merry Christmas. Thanks to an interview Charlie Hunnam did with ET Online regarding Rebel Moon, he spoke about how he was almost Anakin Skywalker for the prequel trilogies. I'm pretty glad that his meeting with George Lucas was as awkward as he says it was, because I like Hayden. I'm glad we have him. And Disney finally confirms its official slate for Star Wars for the next 2 years. It looks like we're getting season 2 of Tales of the Jedi and our third and final season of The Bad Batch in 2024. And The Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, and season 2 of Andor is coming in 2025. We've got news coming out in the Marvel world, just like coming out of our ears. First and foremost, we have news about the upcoming Spider-Man 4 project, which is being described as a Civil War project for our street-level heroes. That includes Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, Spider-Man. We're also hearing that in this Spider-Man 4 Civil War movie, Kingpin will be the mayor. He's going to enact a law that will forbid all acts of vigilantism. He's also going to offer a reward for characters like Spider-Man and Daredevil. So remember WandaVision, probably one of the best MCU shows that we've had to date. Have you often wondered, how the rest of the MCU has perceived what happened there? Wanda totally took over an entire town and held them captive in their own minds. Well, we're not alone, and apparently it's going to come out in these upcoming Marvel projects that they're covering it up as an Avengers training exercise. I mean, it seems legit, something the government would do. And of course, Jonathan Majors. I do have to say, it did take me by surprise, the ruling, because there were so many eyewitness testimonies and so much evidence that showed in this particular instance, it was a two-party issue. I didn't see her catch any charges. But the actual charges that Jonathan Majors were found guilty on was third-degree harassment and involuntary assault. Involuntary assault. He got charged with involuntary assault. What that sounds like to me is he got charged with self-defense. If someone is attacking you in New York City and you fight back, chances are you can get charged with involuntary assault, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. Assault indicates that you are choosing, you've made a conscious decision, you're making a conscious, premeditated decision to physically harm someone. Involuntary indicates that you didn't mean to. So it's kind of an oxymoron, involuntary assault. It just sounds to me like, yeah, that was self-defense. So we're calling it involuntary. Yeah. So what does this mean for the MCU? Majors could do up to a year in prison for this involuntary assault thing. He probably won't, but he has been fired from Disney. And I mean, it was immediate. They fired him right away. They cut ties immediately, and they said that they're scrapping Kang Dynasty and they're turning it into Avengers 5 and 6, which are Secret Wars Part 1 and 2. Michael Waldron is already signed on. The first one, they want to come out on May 1st of 2026. In Part 2, they want to come out on May 1st, 2027. So what's going to happen? Marvel is saying that they're still going to have some Kang involvement in some capacity. So what you're looking at is you're going to have a selection of different multiversal villains that the MCU characters are going to deal with before they get to the end boss. And the end boss is going to be a variant of Kang, like the Beyonder. They've said from the start that the final boss will be the Beyonder, but in the MCU version, he's going to be a variant of Kang. Do we know who's going to play this variant of Kang? Not yet, but I think it would be absolutely hilarious if they cast Terrence Howard as Kang and have him on screen for like 5 minutes and then immediately kill him. Don't you think it would be funny? Maybe just me. But the speed at which Disney released the information that Jonathan Majors was fired and that they were moving on from the Kang story indicates what I've said this whole time, that as soon as this incident happened in March, Majors had a meeting with Disney in person. Disney told Jonathan Majors right then and there that if you are found innocent, we continue on. If you are found guilty, we're done. We're Disney. We're a kids company, okay? I mean, prove it these days. They can't keep Majors for the optics. What optics? Well, he got in a very toxic and abusive relationship, a two-way abusive relationship, and got charged with it. Johnny Depp was in an abusive relationship where he was the victim, and he was even vindicated as such in court in a civil lawsuit in 2 different countries, and they still fired him from Pirates of the Caribbean. So how would it look if they kept this actor and didn't keep this one? Wouldn't look very good. And Disney has not been looking very good lately. They really can't afford any more bad optics. So there you have it. There are some weird rumors going around that Will Smith is going to be cast as the final Kang variant. Stop it. Stop it now. Not getting no Will Smith. We also got our first looks at Daredevil Born Again, and it really, really does have that Netflix Daredevil vibe that we love and want so much. My only problem is they're totally ripping off Steven DeKnight and not paying him. And it's shame on you, Disney. Shame on you. I did get a little tidbit about it was Agatha All Along show, whatever you want to call it now. Billy is going to be to Agatha what Agatha was to Wanda in WandaVision. So kind of a foil, so to speak. Like, he knows everything that's going on and she doesn't quite. Ryan Gosling had a meeting with Kevin Feige recently about a role. What do we think it is? I think it's going to be one of the X-Men. I'm telling you now so I can say I told you so later. It's going to be one of the X-Men. Strong feeling. Thunderbolts officially starts filming in March of this coming year. So here we go. We've also heard that in Captain America Brave New World, Harrison Ford's Red Hulk will have that red kind of flame fire rage aura he gets when he gets really mad. Like, the madder he gets, the flames get hotter. So we're going to have that. And speaking of Hulks, an individual Hulk movie is officially in early development. Is it World War Hulk? Yes. I'm telling you now so I can say I told you so later. It is going to be World War Hulk, which is going to be set up in Captain America Brave New World. Another movie that is finally in development is the Young Avengers movie. Now, I know a lot of people are not looking forward to this, but I enjoyed the comic run of Children's Crusade. So I'm kind of looking forward to see what they do. As always, I reserve my final judgment to when I actually see something. And Disney has released an official schedule for all the upcoming shows on Disney Plus for Marvel. Unfortunately, we still don't have a specific date for X-Men 97. All we know, it's going to be sometime in the summer. As we know, Echo is officially dropping on January 9th. The still untitled Deadpool movie is due to come out July 26th of 24. Agatha Darkhold Diaries is still due to come out in September of 24. And still no official word on Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and Eyes of Wakanda, but we do know it's coming out next year. Reports are indicating that Kevin Feige, old Papa Feige, is interested in bringing one of the Sonyverse villains into the MCU. I'm telling you now so I can say I told you so later. It's Venom. You know it's Venom. It's the only one that's viable. There are several mutant-focused projects in development right now at Marvel. They're looking at doing kind of a what-if type show, but live action, to introduce you to each of these characters. And remember, this is what Marvel was so good at in Phase 1. They introduce these characters one at a time. They have a good character development. We become emotionally attached. And then when they bring out the ensemble projects, we have reasons to root for these individual characters. So this is a good thing. Having several mutant-focused projects to introduce these characters into this universe. You know, a lot of the people that watch MCU movies, they're not comic book nerds like us. They don't know these characters as well as we do. That's why you watch Comics and Cosmetics, to learn about them. So having it done in this format is a really good idea, and it does remind me of Phase 1 MCU tactics. The first villain they want to focus on for the mutants isn't Magneto. They want to focus on Mr. Sinister. Mr. Sinister is a great villain, but he's not Magneto. Magneto has always been your go-to first X-Men villain, but we've never gotten Mr. Sinister in live action. It's risky. It is a risk, but it sounds interesting to me. And on top of them saying that they want to work with Mr. Sinister first, at least for the time being, they're also saying the X-Men themselves will be more female-focused. Female-focused, not only females. And if you think about it, in a way, it does make sense. Mr. Sinister, what is he known for? What is his most famous arc? Madeline Pryor, screwing with Scott Summers and Jean Grey and making Madeline Pryor. So that tells me we're going to get a very Jean Grey focused story or two. I don't know. I'm just telling you now so I can say I told you so later. Along with when they're introducing the X-Men, they also want to introduce the Midnight Suns as well. I've been saying this for about 2 years now. The Midnight Suns are coming. There's no way they're not coming. You've got Moon Knight. You have Doctor Strange, Wong, Elsa Bloodstone, Blade, the Black Knight, Werewolf by Night. These were all members of the Midnight Suns in one incarnation or the other. So obviously they're going to do that. And I'm here for it. I love the Midnight Suns. I love the more supernatural titles to Marvel. Speaking of Moon Knight, they are now developing Moon Knight Season 2. I hate to say this because I have a fear of saying her name that it invokes her presence. But remember a while back I told you Taylor Swift, oh my God, is going to make an appearance in Deadpool 3 and that she was going to be Dazzler, which makes total sense. She looks just like her and Dazzler's a pop star. It writes itself. Guess what? She's not going to be Dazzler. She's going to be Lady Deadpool, which is going to look comic accurate. And when you realize that Ryan Reynolds, his wife, Blake, and Schmaler Schmift are all really close friends, it makes sense that she would come in playing Lady Deadpool. Why not just cast Blake as Lady Deadpool? I think that would be amazing and hilarious. Maybe they're just trolling us and that's what they're going to do. I don't know. I'm just some weird lady on the internet talking out of her beehole. And finally, for Marvel news, I just heard that Mads Mikkelsen is in talks to join the MCU again. You remember he was Caecilius in Doctor Strange. He was wonderful in that. He's wonderful in everything. Here's what I'm going to tell you now, just so I can say I told you so later. but I speculate that Mads Mikkelsen is going to be Dr. Doom. At least I hope so. He would be an amazing Dr. Doom. He's so menacing and smooth the way he talks. And he's got that Nordic accent. Isn't Doom supposed to be from Latveria? I think Mads Mikkelsen looks like a Latverian, don't you? Tell me in the comments below what you think. And on to the news of the world of DC. So, Matt Reeves, the director of The Batman, is also developing an Arkham series for DC, which will be considered canon in the DCU. So the Batman is not canon in the DCU. It's like an Elseworlds thing, but the Arkham series will be canon in the DCU. That would be kind of cool. There's a lot of potential in a series based on the Arkham Asylum, don't you think? Tell me in the comments below. So, sad news for big fans of Zatanna. The Zatanna project has been officially axed. No Zatanna project. But there is a Huntress project in the works. I love Huntress. I hope Mary Elizabeth Winstead plays her again. I thought she nailed it. Superman Legacy starts officially filming in March. Yes, it's happening. They're also still casting for a couple of roles. The first role is a character named Barry, between the ages of 30 and 50. The ethnicity is open, and he is a sports writer and kind of a aging man-child. The second character is by the name of Mali, M-A-L-I, a guy between 20s and 50s, a very empathetic, very principled character. They're a falafel vendor in Metropolis, and they're also very kind and strong-willed. So if either of those descriptions spark interest in you and you think you can pull it off, definitely give James Gunn a call. I don't know. Maybe just show up. I'm sure he loves that. And finally, I know you're all desperate to hear about Aquaman 2. The crunch heard round the world. Hashtag Cucarachagate. So, not only was there virtually no press for Aquaman 2, they did not lift the review embargo until it hit theaters, which is always a red flag, and no red carpet. None. They did no red carpet for this movie. Yes, it marks the end of the very troubled DCEU and Jason Momoa's time as Aquaman. He should have never been Aquaman. In a recent article, he said he initially auditioned for Batman. Who told you that was a good idea, Jason Momoa? They are not your friend. But when they told him that he didn't get the Batman role, but they had another idea, he thought it was going to be Lobo. No, it turned out to be Aquaman. What he's not saying out loud to the public is that disappointed him. He's wanted Lobo from the get-go. Make no mistake, Jason Momoa is very excited to be Lobo. I mean, come on. Every single role Jason Momoa is in, he just plays Jason Momoa. Except for Game of Thrones and maybe Conan, every single movie he has just played himself. In fact, you've heard me say it before, he dresses himself. You can't tell me he doesn't. He looks exactly the same in every single movie he does. He dresses exactly the same. The numbers for the Aquaman 2 The Lost Kingdom premiere, they pretty much confirm what we all suspected. They made half of what the first movie made when it premiered. Just over 4 million. Womp womp. And there's a reason for that. Film's not great. I watched it the night it came out, and it's not great. Spoiler warning for those of you who haven't seen Aquaman 2 and still want to see Aquaman 2 on purpose, then you want to stop right here and skip ahead to the next chapter because there's probably going to be some spoilers. So Aquaman 2 seemed to really struggle with some tone issues. They really wanted to be a Thor Loki movie. They really tried to force that relationship between Arthur and Orm. Arthur actually even calls Orm Loki at one point. So they're not subtle about it at all. There is zero chemistry between Nicole Kidman and Tamara Morrison. Like, you could tell they kept those two characters apart quite a bit because there's just no chemistry. Yes, Amber Heard is in it. Not a lot, but she's in it. Like, the whole second act, she's not there, but she is in the first and third. It just seemed kind of silly to me. It wasn't terrible. To be blunt, it was not the Flash level bad. It wasn't as bad as the Flash. The Flash was way worse and creepy, babies and microwaves. But some of the CGI was a little and some of the story was kind of silly. There's some really I can't even talk about the crunch heard around the world. If you saw the movie and you saw the after credit scene, you know what I'm talking about. It's disgusting. It's for shock value. It's so gross. Whoever told them that it was a good idea to put that after credit, that post credit scene of Orm in there, whoever said that should be fired. It was absolutely unnecessary, absolutely disgusting. And I have to go because I have to do the Vomitron. And real quick, I forgot to mention, I loved Patrick Wilson in Aquaman 2. I love Patrick Wilson as Orm. I personally feel like Patrick Wilson is the standout star of Aquaman 2, and he's not paid enough. He carried that movie all on his sexy back by himself. Can we just get an Orm movie? Like, is that something that's possible, James Gunn? David Zaslav met with Bob Bakish at Paramount about merging their companies and has officially made an offer. So instead of getting bought out, he wants to merge the companies, which would put David Zaslav at the head of Star Trek. I don't know if I can handle this. I don't know if I can handle it. Like, that's scary. If this merger goes through, Warner Brothers Discovery, Paramount, that puts IPs like Star Trek under David Zaslav's purview. And he's not exactly done amazing with the company at this point. We should all say a prayer, light a candle, sacrifice something to Gene Roddenberry to hope for the best, and just prepare for the worst. And on to other news. Patrick Schwarzenegger, who played Golden Boy in Gen V on Amazon Prime, did an interview recently where he talks about how his father, Arnold, was baffled by his character and the show that he was on. He kept trying to explain to his dad, you gotta watch it, it'll make sense. Arnold, horrified by what was going on. What are you filming? Are you filming a porn? Is this a porn, Patrick? Beacon 23 has been renewed for a second season. I told y'all. Ryan Coogler, the director of the Black Panther and Wakanda films, is now set to bring back the X-Files under now the Disney banner, since Disney bought Fox and literally everything else. They now own the X-Files, and they've put Ryan Coogler in charge of bringing that back to life. I have every confidence in Ryan Coogler as a filmmaker. I do. I don't trust Disney. Disney's gonna Disney, and I don't want them to Disney all over my X-Files. Speaking of Disney Plus, Percy Jackson has premiered. I've watched the first 2 episodes. It's not bad. I love Walker Scobell. I love that kid. I was still rooting that he would be kid pool, but I don't think that's happening. The first 2 episodes are pretty good. Give it a chance. Rick Riordan, who wrote the books, he is the creator, the showrunner, the writer. So every single change that has been made in the show from the source material, his source material, he has changed himself. So to me, it makes a difference when the original author, the creator of these characters, they are the ones making the changes. What We Do in the Shadows returns for season 6, but it will be its last. And good news for Henry Cavill, his Warhammer 40,000 is now properly underway, as he has stated. I'm happy for the guy. So good for him. I'm excited to see what he does. And sad news, Shining Vale has been canceled after its 2nd season. I'm very upset about this. And finally, Rebel Moon. If you have not seen Rebel Moon yet and you still would like to and you don't want any spoilers, This is where you get off. Here's your stop. Thank you for coming. Hope you enjoyed the ride. So I watched it as soon as it drops. It is long. I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I liked it. The cinematography, the aesthetic, the action was all absolutely top notch. I really love that chick's vibroblades. Her vibroblades are just... However, to me, the missing scenes, because there's already a Sneider cut of it coming out right before part 2, but the scenes that were cut, it's noticeable. It's very noticeable. It felt like a lot was thrown at you, but not really allowed to develop, and you form that emotional connection. It was like, okay, we're going to pick up so-and-so, and then we're going to pick up so-and-so, and we're going to pick up so-and-so, and guess what? We're going to pick up so-and-so. It was basically a list of gathering people, but they didn't allow for each character to get developed along the way so I relate to this character, or I'm feeling this character. We weren't allowed to do that. There is a lot of mythology that Zack Sneider has created around this, and I'm really hoping that more of that gets brought to the surface in the director's cut and in part 2, The Scargiver. My favorite of the movie is kind of funny because he's on screen for maybe 5 minutes total. And it's Jimmy the robot, voiced by Anthony Hopkins. He's wonderful, and he gets the most character development in the entire film, and he's only there for 5 minutes. I'm hoping that gets explained more later, but I liked it. I will watch it again. I am looking forward to The Scargiver, but it did fall a little short of expectations for me. And that's all I've got for you this week in nerdy news. If you like the content I'm putting out there, please make that sacrifice to the algorithm overlords, smash that like button, hit the subscribe, and make sure you ring the notification bell so you get notified whenever I'm back with more nerdy news or more breakdowns. If you would like to support the channel, we have several options for you to do so, and you can check down below in the description. We have links for everything, including all the socials. Make sure you follow us there for more hot takes. Until then, nerds, I hope you have a Merry Christmas, a wizard week, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay nerdy, babies. Bye.